you can be incredibly confident, you can be very attractive, you can have a lot of money, and still you can be cheated on.
Infidelity is something no one is ever prepared for, which is why it's so shocking and devastating when it happens, especially when the other person has been hiding it so well. Finding out can leave you completely lost, unsure of what to do next. But here's the thing. People who cheat tend to display certain patterns of behavior. If you can recognize those patterns, you don't have to play detective or stalk your partner every step of the way. Just because someone shows these signs doesn't mean you're definitely being cheated on. It only means it's a possibility, and you should never accuse someone without solid evidence. These points aren't just based on painful personal experience. They're also backed by research conducted by Gleeden, an online infidelity platform. With that in mind, let's move on to the signs.
Number 1, manipulation. People who are guilty and fully aware of it often try to cover their tracks by distracting or blaming the other person. If you always feel like you're doing something wrong, if you have no space to express your needs, if your emotions are constantly going up and down, and especially if, after every argument, you're the one doing all the explaining while the other person decides whether to forgive you, then pay attention. This doesn't guarantee that your partner is cheating, but one thing is certain, you're being manipulated. Of course, you can make mistakes too, and when you do, you should acknowledge and fix them. But if this is happening repeatedly and always at your expense, it's a huge red flag. Before we continue, if you subscribe and support the channel, it would be amazing. I have hundreds of videos planned, and it's because of your support that I can keep making them. All right, now let's move on. 2. Topics getting shut down with a simple okay. Most people don't realize this, but arguments are a necessary part of a healthy relationship. You want to be with someone you can disagree with openly and still feel heard. Because a relationship with no conflict at all isn't a real relationship. If, after recent arguments, you're left with a deep, empty feeling. If you find yourself thinking, I'm right, but I'm alone. If your words seem acknowledged but just fall into a void, then your partner might not be putting much thought or care into these moments anymore. That doesn't necessarily mean your partner has lost interest in you, doesn't want you anymore, or is dealing with issues elsewhere. But when this happens repeatedly, and when combined with other signs I'll be sharing, it can point to a deeper problem you're not yet aware of. This one is challenging but worth trying. Whether you're right or wrong, try holding back your reaction. Even if you want to respond immediately, wait. See if the other person makes any effort to fix the situation. What if that argument only ever had weight because you were the one carrying it? It can be a painful realization, but seeing things clearly is the first step to making better decisions. 3. Just me mindset. A healthy relationship is a team effort. If only one person is winning, it's no longer a partnership. It's a power struggle. That's why I want you to pay attention to the words, the ideas, and the focus. Listen closely. Does your partner say you, us, together more often? Or do you notice that I dominates their conversations? Someone who truly cares about and takes responsibility for a relationship doesn't focus on themselves. They focus on the team. Their goal is never for one person to win and the other to lose. Special tactic for you. Try being a bit more selfish for a while. Watch how your partner reacts. Do they get angry when they can't benefit from the situation anymore? Do they feel sad when the bond starts to weaken? Do they make an effort to win your attention and refocus the relationship? Or do they not even notice? The way your partner responds will give you a very clear answer about where you stand. All you have to do is pay attention. 4. Screen time. If their work doesn't revolve around digital platforms, a person's screen time can reveal a lot about their life. How happy they are. What's on their mind? How focused they are on themselves. Watch out for this. Are they spending too much time on certain apps? Are they posting more than usual? Have they downloaded apps you've never seen before? And what about their phone habits? If someone panics when you pick up their phone, that's already a red flag. I agree. Everyone deserves privacy, and a phone is a personal space. But if your partner feels panicked when you so much as touch their phone, something off might be going on. Here, you might have to do a bit of detective work. 5. Always against you. Do they respect your path? Are they unwilling to walk in the direction you want to go? Can you ever agree on things like dinner, or is every decision a point of friction? Simply put, if you can't agree on anything anymore, this is a serious sign. In long-term relationships, couples tend to naturally adopt similar habits. Same meal times, similar sleep schedules, aligned tastes. Although this might seem boring from the outside, it creates a flow that makes life feel safe and connected. But if you're finding that you're never on the same page anymore, that you're constantly having to compromise just to keep the peace, that's a sign of a much deeper issue. 6. Changes in routine. We just talked about habits, right? Here's the thing. People don't tend to change their habits unless something significant is going on in their life. If their work, school, or personal goals aren't shifting, their routine usually doesn't change much either. That's just human nature. We're creatures of habit. But if you notice changes, big or small, in their routine despite no obvious reason, maybe they've started having breakfast out more often, maybe you're sharing fewer dinners together, that's worth noticing. Something might be off, and it might be worth doing a bit of detective work. Here's a tactic you can try for this point. Start putting off some habits you normally share, or be a bit more insistent when it comes to habits your partner suddenly doesn't want anymore. For example, if they no longer want to eat at that one favorite spot, try suggesting you go there and watch how they respond. If disrupting their routine causes tension, resistance, or noticeable discomfort, it can reveal more than words ever could. 7. I look better now. First, let me say this. Whether you're a man or a woman, looking good and taking care of yourself is vital. Dressing well when going out doesn't just help others notice you. It gives you an incredible boost of confidence. Even if you're in a long-term relationship, grooming, regular haircuts, using cologne or perfume, these things matter. I assume both partners already put some effort into this. But when you notice a sudden shift, more makeup than usual, a special fragrance for everyday errands, why wear a noticeable scent just to run to the corner store? That's worth questioning, because this often signals a desire to impress someone else, a hint that maybe, just maybe, there's another person in the picture. And if that thought has crossed your mind, it might be worth exploring further. 8. New friends. In long-term relationships, you naturally get to know each other's friends. Best friends, school friends, work friends. Over time, you become familiar with each other's circles, and that's how it should be. But if suddenly new people are popping up, or your partner is finding new friend groups you've never heard of, that's worth paying attention to. Give it some thought. 9. Gifts and new possessions. People don't normally splurge on themselves too often. If they do, it tends to happen in a predictable way. So if your partner suddenly has new belongings, an accessory they're extra proud of, something they attach special meaning to, watch closely. I'll be honest, a few of these points are fairly innocent on their own, and I understand that if you have an anxious attachment, you might be more prone to overthinking. If you're not sure what anxious attachment means, I'll be covering that soon too. But if you notice several of these signs happening at the same time, and you already feel that the chemistry between you has started to fade, your partner might be preparing themselves for someone new, or maybe you've been doing something wrong. Most of these behaviors happen unconsciously, but if you notice too many of them happening all at once, it's a serious sign that something is off. Just remember, if you accuse someone without evidence, you can destroy a relationship for good. I'll be creating much more content soon about building a strong relationship, achieving success in school and work, making money, and becoming a successful man. If you don't want to miss out, subscribe and leave a comment. Your support means a lot as I build this channel. See you soon.